Hello, I'm Ms. A, and this is class W1006, and this is the sixth and final class of this series. Welcome. I hope you have participated in all the classes, and if you are here for the very first time, I definitely recommend that you view the other classes first because there's information from those classes that you need to complete this final class. But welcome to you all. You also need the usual materials. You need that pencil, that notebook, or that piece of paper. You need that dictionary, you know, the activities. So of course you need that dictionary. And you also need verbs, nouns, adjectives, and more grammar fun. There are charts in the book. There are activities in that book. Plus, I will be doing a series just with that book soon. So you need to have that book. And again, welcome to the class. I am here, Ms. A, to help you realize the importance, not just importance, but the fun in reading and writing. Now, I know some of you are going, I don't think so. Reading and writing is not fun. It's work and it's not fun, but it can be very fun. Just like going to a party, going to a movie, and maybe just like going to the zoo. I went to the zoo and I saw this very cute set of panda bears. Look at them. One was taking a nap, one's just exploring a little bit. But yeah, it was fun at the zoo. And I also saw this hippo. He was under the water, cooling off. It was a warm day. Boy, I would have loved a splash of that water to cool me off that day. And then the giraffe, it looks like he's hungry, he's looking for something, but there wasn't much in that basket. So he was probably a little disappointed. But I did have fun there, and I do have fun writing, and I do have fun reading, and I would like for you to have fun reading and writing too. I also want you to make your teacher realize that you are a writer and you can do well in writing if you're having problems with writing. Just practice, have fun with it, and pretty soon you will be a master writer. I showed a picture in the last class and I asked everyone to take a look at it, to see what you saw in there and what you can write about it, and then send to me. Now, do you remember the picture? Well, let me show you that picture just in case to refresh your memory. Okay, so this was the picture. Two fish, two of them, two fishes poking their head out of the water. Now, what did you think about that picture? Let me tell you what I saw. Patty Fish and Murray Frog were suddenly awakened by the sound of loud splashing. They were both a bit upset because they were having wonderful dreams. Patty Fish told Murray Fish that she was dreaming about a fun party. And Murray Fish said that he was dreaming about a hopping contest that he won. But soon the melodic sounds that they heard melted their frowns into joyous smiles. The singing was mesmerizing. There are frogs resting happily on lily pads and fish jumping merrily in and out of the water as they listened to the lovely singing. Patty Fish and Murray Frog were angry no more as they listened to the lovely singing of three frog sisters. But Murray Frog realized he was now late for the hopping class he taught. Oh no, I have to go, he shouted. The students will think I am not coming and will hop off to play on lily pads. You see, you can find a story or a little fun in everything, okay? You can just look at a picture, let your imagine go, and just write something about it. And it'll keep you excited and happy, and you won't think writing is boring anymore. Now, here's another picture that I would like for you to take a look at. Nice picture. What do you see here? I'm already thinking of something that I will be writing about. And as I always ask, send me the paragraphs. I love reading about what you saw. Look at it a little more. All right. So that's your task for this week on the writing of the picture you saw. And I always tell you every week that I love writing. Writing is fun. Writing is wonderful. Sometimes you can be taken to a new place or you can learn something new. So that's what I like about writing. And don't worry, you can write something wonderful too. Okay. Now, when we talk about writing, there are some important things about writing, like punctuation, and I mentioned that in some of the other classes. You can't just write a paragraph and not use punctuation marks. You have to use periods, you have to use exclamation points, you have to use commas. Those are basically key things for writing because you don't want your writing just to be a mishmash of words. Of course, words are important, but you need to have them placed properly and you have to have the right punctuation mark to make what you wrote make sense, right? So that is just the importance of writing. And there are other various punctuation marks that, okay, of course, commas, there are quotation marks, there are semicolons. Some of those I will talk about in other classes, the next series. So use them, of course, because your teacher will be looking out for those. When you write sentence, you have to be sure to use the right punctuation mark at the end, okay, to make it make sense. Make it make sense, right? When you write, you want it to make sense. And the purpose of my class, one of the big reasons that I am doing this, because I want you to have fun. And I want your writings to be fun for others to read. Figurative language tools are one way that you can make your writing fun. And I've been talking about that in all the other classes. So again, if you are just here for the first time, you definitely should take a look at those other classes so you can see what the other figurative language tools are. Now, of course, we have another one for this week. Most importantly, we do. And let me share with you a couple of sentences, okay? Let's see here. Okay. So we're not going to look at the panda anymore. We're going to look at this sentence. Okay. You see that sentence there? I'll read it. The water hose wet the sidewalk. And of course, I have my period at the end because it's just a statement there. The water hose wet the sidewalk. Well, there's nothing wrong with that sentence. It makes sense. Um, the reader knows what you're talking about, right? However, take a look at this other sentence. The water hose hissed as water splashed all over the sidewalk. The water hose hissed as water splashed all over the sidewalk. Now that's a sentence, right? You just added a little more to it to make it sound a little more interesting. So if you have sentences in your paragraph that are interesting, it makes it a little more fun for the reader. Now, this is an example of, and this is a toughie one. This one is onomatopoeia. Ooh, that's a big word, isn't it? So this is the use of words that imitate sound. As you notice, I'll just go back. The sound, we're talking about a water hose that hissed. Okay, the water hose splashed. So there's sound in that sentence to just make it give it a little bit more oomph, as you might say, to make it a little more interesting. And that's what you can do with figurative language, as I have mentioned for the last 5 classes. There are the others that you can use to help your writing more exciting. And I would say if you used 2 or even 3 of the tools that I mentioned in the classes in your writings at school, now what do you think your teacher would say? The teacher would be very, very pleased, very happy that you are utilizing tools to make your writings very, very, very fun. So that's how you can help make writing fun using tools. And then, of course, you have to have those words, Well, you can't have a paragraph, you can't have a sentence without words, right? But using those tools to help put those words together is pretty much like a puzzle, right? It's a paragraph puzzle. You're putting those words together, using those the various punctuation marks that you need to use, and you're making your writing interesting. So I always have a scramble word that I like to show you. And let's see, what is this week's scramble word? Let's see, let's move that over a little more for you to see. Scramble word is faced. Faced. Okay. Face. Now remember all the other ones that I've given to you. Now you get to do that special activity with those other words. Okay. So I have given you a total of 6 scramble words. Now, what I want you to do with that is create a sentence using each of those scramble words, okay? Now, write a sentence, and then you need to put those sentences together in a paragraph. Oh my gosh, I know that sounds a little tough, but you can do it. So remember, you were supposed to write all those words down. That was the purpose of your notebook, your piece of paper. So go ahead and write that one down so you can create your sentence paragraph using these words, okay? And I will give you, let's see, I always have a wonderful sentence just to inspire you a little bit. And let's see, what do we have for this week? We have, what do we have here? We have keep on, let's see, let's move it over a little here. Keep on writing, I think. Yes, keep on writing. Go ahead, you should write that one down too. Keep yourself inspired. Keep yourself inspired and writing. And there you go. It's a little crooked, isn't it? All right. So keep on writing, write down your word face. Now, you know what? I also wrote a paragraph about the onomatopoeia. Now, let's see if you can hear the words here, okay? Timothy asked his father if he could borrow his old car to look for fallen tree branches at Old Mill Road. He needed the branches for a school project. The car had lots of dents and the paint was peeling off like a snake shedding its skin. Ooh. The car door had to be opened very carefully so that it would not fall off. When Timothy opened the car door, it screeched. He turned the key very slowly to start the car. The engine hissed and rattled. Timothy decided that he did not want to take a chance with the ticking and screeching, so he decided to grab a wheelbarrow and walk. Okay, now, did you hear any of those onomatopoeia words in that paragraph? There were some there. So remember to use that figurative language and be sure to write those sentences and be sure to send that in, okay? Because I, again, wanted to read that wonderful paragraph too, okay? And in the past class, I asked you to write a word that began, to find a word that began with the letter Z. And I found a word. Let me just share with my word. Okay, so my word was zipper. That was my word. A device consisting of two flexible strips of metal or plastic with interlocking projections to close or open clothes or other items. So, you know, you have your jacket, you pull it up with the zipper, or if you're going on a trip, oh, I love going on trips and have to zip up my suitcase. So my word was zipper. Okay, now, again, I gave you five other words, five other letters, and you were supposed to find a word um, for that letter in the dictionary. Remember the dictionary. Now, here is your task, okay? Um, you will need to create again sentences with those words, okay, and put together a paragraph. Well, you don't have to make sentences for this one. I take that back. Just use each of those words within a paragraph, okay? So you have a total of 6 words, create a paragraph, and use all 6 of those words in the paragraph, okay? So that's your task. Now remember, um, well, it will be 6 because the letter for this week is A. So you need to find a word that begins with the letter A. Go to your dictionary, find that word, and then you will have a total of 6 words. And of course, the letters, well, actually, it's 5. Take that, sorry, 5, okay? The letters were T, D, R, Z, and A, okay? So go ahead. Hopefully you did write those down and create that paragraph with those words. Yes, you can do it. All you have to do is put it together, sit down for a moment, put it together. And in case you want to know what I come up with, I will be putting together just a short little video. It won't be long. It will have the paragraph with the scramble words. It will have the paragraph for the picture that I just showed, and then I will have the paragraph for these letter words that I have given you. So look out for that, and then I will have another little surprise item in that video too. Okay. Now, be sure to send them in to me. You can send them to me through Take Lessons, and I do want to read what you have. Okay. I have enjoyed having these sessions, and I hope that you will join me in the next classes that are coming up, a new series. That series will be also on more fun ways of writing, of course, because that's what I'm always talking about, writing. And then there will also feature some information about genres. Do you know what those are? So you need to come to the class to find that out. But before we go, I always read a little bit from this fun little mouse. He's having an adventure, and I love his adventure. So I'll just read just a couple of pages, okay? So this is, of course, Geronimo Stilton, Lost Treasure of the Emerald Eye, okay? And anything missing? The next morning, I stood on the deck of the Lucky Lady, reading out a list of our supplies. What a mess. Trap, fill up the water tank, I instructed my cousin. But instead of filling the water tank, he poured water into the fuel tank. What are you doing? I squeaked. I think you had better lay off the extra sharp. It seems to be affecting your brain. What extra sharp do you think he's talking about? I turned to my sister. Thea, run and get me the compass. I ordered down a boat, mass and beyond, boats, mass and beyond. Asked to see the owner, Squeaky LaRue, also known as the Squeak. He is a friend of mine, so he should give you a discount. You can't miss him. He's a tall, thin gray mouse with a tail so furry You could use it to dust every room in your mustache. Oh, sorry, mouse hole. Just then I noticed Trap taking to talking to the young ship rat on the boat next to ours. That's right, my young rat friend, he whispered. Don't tell anyone. We're looking for something, but I can't tell you what. It's a secret. It begins with a T and ends with an E. Hmm. Quick, as a cat at a mouse convention, I leaped up and yanked, trapped away by the tail. Are you going to blurt out the whole story about the treasure? I hissed. Uh-oh, what did he just do? Trap gave me an innocent smile. Did I mention a treasure? There are lots of words that begin with T and end with E, you know. He smirked. Telephone, for example. Or how about tic-tac-toe? I banged my head against the side of the ship. By 6 o'clock that night, we had finished loading. I rushed to Rat's Authority, the best store in town for sporting goods. Can you help me, please? I said to Scratch, the mouse who owns the place. I want to get everything I would need for a long sea voyage, and I am in a big rush. So if you could hurry, well, tickle me with a cat fur feather. If it isn't Geronimo Stilton, the newspaper mouse, Scratch cried. What an honor! He then began to drag out everything in the entire store. My head was spinning. There were 10 pairs of waterproof of underwater wear, a floppy cheddar color straw hat that squeaked if you stayed out in the sun too long, and a life raft shaped like a slice of cheese on a 5-foot long cracker. Well, I will stop there. Geronimo, Geronimo Stilton. You can get that book, continue reading it. It's a very, very, very fun story. Before you go, I just have one last little thing I would like to share with you. Let's see. It is this. How important it is to read. We read to understand past. You read to explore your world. You can find out about a whole lot of things when you read. You read to create new things, create new stories. Okay. You read to visit new places. There may be a place that you've never been to, but you can read about it. We read to have fun. Like I said, reading is fun. And also, you read to exercise your mind. Okay, so I will be back for the next series of classes. Remember to send me those paragraphs, and remember that reading and writing can be very, very fun.